Hey everyone, it's Sophie from Build Your Jungle coming at you from a bit of a different angle today. You may have heard about the Fable controversy, or you may have just seen it on TikTok and been like, what is going on?
Maybe we should all just get Storygraph.
So I want to share my thoughts on it, and I normally don't do this, but I'm really upset.
Regarding the Fable controversy,
I am here to summarize. If you guys don't know what Fable is, it's an app that I actually use to track your books. It's got features like being able to have lists for like books you finished, books you want to read, and to create your own lists and stuff. There's clubs. I mean, I run a book club on there called Frog Hoppers as well. So like I use this app quite a lot. I think one reason why it's been particularly popular is because it's really great for getting book recommendations and finding new stuff. And one way that they do this is with AI. So when you are putting what books you've read and how many stars you've given them and stuff into this app, the AI takes that data and it makes a summary, a little reader summary, and it's supposed to be, a little bit of fun, and that comes up on the top of your profile. For example, most recently mine has been like secret sleuths, like you love unraveling mysteries. Fair enough. And then for the last sentence, it gives you a little bit of sass. The app likes to, sass you just a little bit. So mine was very tame. It was something like, I wouldn't want you to see the last chapters of my book. And I don't know exactly how it works, but something in the algorithm has really backfired in some cases recently and come out with some really bigoted, awful stuff. For example, here we have one, and I'm just saying this from memory, so I'm probably not going to be getting it right word for word. But it was someone who had read a lot of books by Black authors, and then the sass line like they got was like saying they needed to put more white authors into the rotation, which obviously that's really bad. And then another example, but I've only seen this in a TikTok comment and I've not actually seen the image myself, so I'm going to say allegedly. Someone's had one where they've read a lot of books by queer authors, and then they've got the like sassy line at the end that said something like, anyone would think you'd hate cis-het men. So obviously that's a disaster and just an example of some of the problems that can come with using AI, especially for things like that and when they're not moderated. Fable posted a video on TikTok.
Hey everyone, my name is Chris. I'm head of product at Fable, and I wanted to touch on a disturbing issue that came up in our community this past week. Our mission statement at Fable is stories for everyone, just bringing the joy and the discussion of stories to everyone and giving everyone kind of a safe space to feel like they belong and can discuss these stories is really important to us. But if we're not doing that for everyone, then like, what are we doing? And this past week, we fell short on that. We got a couple reports from users about our reader summary feature on the profile using very bigoted, racist language. And that was shocking to us because it's one of our most beloved features. Like, so many people in our community love this feature. And to know that that feature has generated negative language is, it's a sad situation, I would say. So first of all, I just want to say that we are deeply sorry for the harm that we've caused in the community, for what has been generated, and for putting out a feature that can do something like that. So as part of this, I want to be very transparent with how the reader summary feature works so that you can get a sense of like an understanding of why this might have happened. And then I also then want to talk about some of the changes that we're making starting today. So the reader summary feature, the goal of this feature is to actually celebrate everyone's uniqueness. We wanted it to be a playful, fun way to share out who you are as a reader based on the books that you've been reading. And the way we do that is using an AI model where we feed in the books that you've most recently finished. And all we're passing in is just the summaries of those books. So we're not passing in any of your user data or any like identifiable information or usage data. We're not passing in any data about the actual book, we're not passing in the text of the book, the manuscript. We're really just passing in the publisher summaries that the publishers give us. And that model then is responsible for creating a fun sentence or two about who you are as a reader. And because it's a new technology, we started with some safeguards. We created some safeguards where it's like we ask the model to avoid some topics, and we also created a second pass like offensive language filter. But clearly in both cases that failed this time around. So I think as a company, we kind of underestimated how much work needs to be done to make sure that these AI models are doing this in a responsible, safe way. And so I want to talk about the steps that we're taking next. So the first step that we're taking is, first of all, we don't want the fact that this reader summary is AI. We don't want that to be a surprise or deceptive. And so we're adding in a disclosure into that feature to indicate that this is AI generated. The second thing that we're doing is that if you want to, you will also now be able to opt out of that feature. So you will be able to not show a reader summary on your profile. You'll still get all the fun stats that we have on the profile. We'll hide the reader summary. Third thing that we're doing is we've actually already updated our model with even more safeguards, and we've also removed some of the playfulness of the model. We think that some of that playfulness actually could have caused some of the language, and so for now we're just killing that, removing that. So that's the next step. That is actually, I think, already live. The fourth thing that we're doing is we're adding in a thumbs up and thumbs down button. So if you see a reader summary that you don't like, you can hit the thumbs down button. That then sends us a Slack message, and we can then use that to basically train our model better and be aware of instances like this. The last thing that we're doing, which is going to take a little bit more time, I think all of those things are within the next day or two. A little bit more time we are going to continue to work on more safeguards. We're having lots of conversations internally about what other safeguards we might be missing to make sure that this doesn't happen. And so we will be kind of working on that. I think over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have more conversations internally about all of this stuff. If you made it this far in the video, thank you very much for listening. We'd love to hear any feedback, but I think coming from a team of these book lovers and artists and authors and just who we are as a team, this is not what we want, and it shows that we have not done enough. And so we will be working on this. We will be putting attention towards this. I know we've probably shaken some trust in the community, and so we really do hope to earn that back. Thank you all. Feel free to comment below. We're open to all of your input. Appreciate it.
A lot of people in the comments seem to be split. Some people were saying oh, they've handled it very well, and some people were saying that only the people that are not in minority groups could have been leaving comments in favor of how the situation had been handled. I felt kind of weird about it. I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community, and the way that made me kind of think twice about it is I did think, if I personally had gotten the one about cishet men, I would have probably been quite offended, more so than looking at it from me as a person it didn't happen to. But at the same time, I really feel for Fable, because other than this, it's been a great app. It's been a great way to connect with other readers. I really enjoy using the clubs and stuff on there, and I just hope that there's a way to definitively resolve this. To be honest, I don't really know how I feel about it, because I really love using the app, but then obviously I feel very negatively about what has happened here. So I think it's all just going to depend on how they handle it, what they do about it.
Hey everyone, I just wanted to share a quick update to my last video yesterday, since we've been working late on this. So first and foremost, having a feature that does any sort of harm in the community is unacceptable. And we've heard feedback from enough members of our community that we're making the following changes immediately. First, we're removing the reader summary from the stats feature. Second, we're removing Shelfie. And third, we're removing the 2024 reading wrap. Those are all features that make use of AI. And so you'll see those changes in the app over the weekend. We're basically submitting a new version of the app to the App Store today. Second, we actually heard a lot of really great ideas for how we can improve those features. So for example, what if we had badges in the profile where we're using our in-house artists to create those badges, and maybe even artwork from the community? A lot of fun ideas. So thank you to all of you who've been sharing those types of ideas. So along those lines, we wanted to create a space for us to be able to listen and discuss those types of things. So on January 6th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be doing a Fable town hall over Zoom. So if you're a Fable user, check the top of your For You feed. You'll see a link to sign up for that. We would love to have you there because we want to use this as an opportunity to learn and grow. Thank you all, and see you Monday.
What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I post videos about books and plants, so if either of those things interest you, please feel free to hit that button, subscribe to be notified when I next make a video. And I hope you're having a great day thinking about books.